Part 147. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 1461. Chapter 1461. Yeshiro's domineering attitude is revealed. If you really don't know, then let her pay the money. Lipaner is simple by nature, and she believes what others say. But this matter is not that simple when it comes to Yeshiro. At this time, Zhou Yuqing and Zhao Fang happened to come out of the house. They never expected to see the brothers Yeching Feng and Yeshiro here. Wow, aren't these Yeching Feng and Yeshiro? Why did they come? Have no idea. They were deeply impressed by these two people when they met them at Egg College. Zhao Fang and Zhou Yuqing stood arm in arm and talked quietly. Yeshiro looked at the two of them, turned to Mo Xiongnuan and asked in Mo Xiongnuan's ear, which one of these two is Zhou Yuqing? This question was a good one, and Mo Xiongnuan was a little surprised. Sister, have you forgotten? You have met me before. Yeshiro shrugged and said in a casual tone, I didn't pay attention. Then he asked her, which one is it? Mo Xiongnuan replied in a low voice, it's the one in red. Hello, is this Zhou Yuqing? Yes, I am Zhou Yuqing. Just now Nuanuan. In just half a day, she had already mastered the name Nuanuan. She was too lazy to dwell on the name and just blurred the title. Yeshiro pointed at Mo Xiongnuan and said, did you take her necklace away before? Xiang, the necklace is lost. Zhou Yuqing, who was already feeling guilty, lost even more confidence when she saw Yeshiro and Yeching Feng. Lost, does that mean you admitted that you thought the necklace was lost in your hands? Yes, but I didn't mean to do it. I don't know where it fell. I can't find it anymore. After being questioned, Zhou Yuqing said the answers she had synthesized in her heart. Yeshiro nodded. When Zhao Fang saw this scene, she had already thought of many plots in her mind. Zhao Fang felt that Mo Xiongnuan could not have the necklace, and now that Yeching Feng and Yeshiro appeared here again looking for the necklace, she guessed, Yeshiro, does the necklace belong to you? It doesn't matter if it's mine, I just want to get the necklace. Listen to what you said, that necklace belongs to you. Could it be that Lipaner took your necklace? Can't get used to Zhao Fang's self-righteous tone, and Yeshiro is too lazy to talk nonsense to her. I really don't think there is any need to explain this to you. She reached out to Zhou Yuqing and asked for it. If you think about it again, are you really missing it? Zhou Yuqing subconsciously pressed her raised collar and nodded firmly. Really, it's really gone. Well, since the thing is lost in your hands, then you should pay for it. Compensate? Compensate? Zhou Yuqing was stunned. Just now she saw that Mo Xiongnuan didn't pursue the matter, so she thought the matter was over just now. Anyway, Mo Xiongnuan couldn't do much with his weak and easy-to-handle character. Did you not expect that Yeshiro would be so resolute and demanding that she pay compensation as soon as she showed up? Yes, you lost someone else's things, and it's only natural that you have to pay for it. But Lipaner asked me to keep it. Zhou Yuqing, please don't think of us as fools. Someone volunteers to help, maybe he wants to keep it for himself, right? You're talking nonsense, I didn't embezzle it for myself. I didn't tell you why you had to match the situation. In short, you admitted that you lost her necklace. If you can't find it, you'll pay for it. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 1462. Chapter 1462, Call Me Brother. Zhou Yuqing was a little scared because of Yeshiro's imposing manner, but at this time, even if he slapped a swollen face, he still felt fat. Zhou Yuqing retorted and asked, we are not familiar with each other, that is Paner's necklace, what does it have to do with you? Although she was in awe of Yeching Feng and Yeshiro when she was in school, now that she was in a hurry, she couldn't care so much anymore. Just because Zhou Yuqing said something to Yeshiro, Ye Qingfeng, who was standing aside to watch the excitement, put down his mobile phone and walked towards the side. He was originally determined to deal with a little girl, and Yezhiruo was enough. It would be shameful for him, a big boy, to go out and bully a little girl. But what's going on with this guy? How dare you be arrogant in front of Ye Qingfeng and Yezhiruo? Are you still trying to steal Mo Xiongnuan's necklace? This is unbearable. It's not your turn to question what my sister is going to do. I want to know in what capacity we ask for compensation from you. Ye Qingfeng mocked Zhou Yuqing, put a hand on Mo Xiongnuan's shoulder, and her tone suddenly turned 180 degrees, becoming kind and gentle. Nuan, tell them, what are we, relation? Ye Qingfeng's action was really unexpected. Zhao Fang was shocked, and Zhou Yuqing's heart beat like a drum. Mo Xiongnuan looked up at him and called out obediently, brother. Ye Qingfeng also reached out and touched her head. This action contains a lot of pampering at certain times. But Zhou Yuqing and Zhao Fang still didn't understand what they meant. You still don't understand? She is my Ye Qingfeng's sister. Do you think I am qualified to stand up for her? How is it possible, you? Forget it, there's no point in talking anymore. If you can't get the necklace out, just pay the money. Ye Qingfeng looked at Zhou Yuqing's face with meaning, and moved his eyes down to his neck. Although she wore thick clothes to cover her up in winter, Zhou Yuqing's several subconscious actions just now had betrayed her. With Ye Qingfeng and Yezhiruo's ability to see into people's hearts, Zhou Yuqing's liar is totally out of the question. Zhou Yuqing's voice trembled and she asked Mo Xiongnuan, how much is it? Mo Xiongnuan stared at it, because she didn't know how much it was. She estimated it was worth hundreds of dollars, right? At this time, Yezhiruo stretched out 5 fingers. Zhou Yuqing guessed, 50. Tisk, Yezhiruo almost couldn't help laughing. Yezhiruo shook his head, Zhou Yuqing's heart was raised, and he guessed, 500. Yezhiruo still shook his head. Zhao Fang was on the side to help. A necklace can't be worth 5,000, right? They would never dare to guess this number. To these, Yezhiruo answered, no. Zhou Yuqing breathed a sigh of relief after hearing this, but just when she was about to ask what the price of Yezhiruo was, Yezhiruo's voice came into her ears again. She could not see or touch it, but it was like 1,000 kilograms of weight on her heart. Yezhiruo smiled and said, it's 50,000. 50,000, Zhou Yuqing's voice suddenly became sharp. Even Mo Xiongnuan opened his mouth in disbelief. 50,000. She was actually wearing a necklace worth 50,000 yuan before? If she had known earlier, she would never have dared to accept such an expensive gift. Ye Qingfeng lowered his head and whispered in her ear, don't be too surprised, you will get used to it gradually in the future. You know, the most important thing for the Ye family is money. Impossible, you must be trying to blackmail me. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1463. Chapter 1463. Panner is the daughter of a wealthy family. I don't mind having someone show you the invoice, and then take you to a jewelry appraisal office to confirm the authenticity, of course, provided you guarantee that you can afford the compensation of 50,000 yuan. Ye Qingfeng's words were so serious that Zhou Yuqing was frightened to tears. Zhao Fang, who was watching the joke just now, didn't know what to say at this time. 50,000 yuan. Their family can't make that much money in a year, but a necklace is so expensive. This is simply not what they could have imagined. Ye Qingfeng and Yezhiruo were too lazy to waste time with them and directly said that they would take Zhou Yuqing to ask everyone to testify. Zhou Yuqing was frightened and quickly reached out and took off the necklace from his neck. The necklace is here, here you are. My necklace. When Mo Xiongnuan saw the necklace at first sight, his joy outweighed his surprise. At this moment, Zhou Yuqing put the necklace into her hand and took the opportunity to run away. No one is chasing him. Because I don't want to argue with this kind of person at all. Mo Xiongnuan was very happy after finding the necklace. That's great, the necklace is still there and the necklace was not lost. Seeing Mo Xiongnuan's pure and happy look, Ye Qingfeng and Yezhiruo were happy and helpless at the same time. Happily, she has a simple mind and simple things can make her happy. This kind of person has a good mentality. Unfortunately, with a personality like hers, she can easily be bullied. Yezhiruo felt disgusted when she thought that this necklace had been worn by someone as disgusting as Zhou Yuqing. Seeing that Mo Xiongnuan regarded the cherry blossom necklace as a treasure, she coaxed in a gentle voice, "Nuan Nuan, don't want this necklace. My sister will give you a better one when she goes back." Mo Xiongnuan shook his head, "No need, this is the first gift I've ever received." This was the first gift she received in her life, and its meaning was incomparable to anything else. Ye Qingfeng and Yezhiruo both wrote down these words silently. It's okay. When you go back, there will be many people giving you gifts. I guess you will feel uncomfortable accepting gifts in the future. And your room has gifts from all the elders and us. I've been hoarding them for 14 years, and I'm probably too tired to open them. Yezhiruo took Mo Xiongnuan's hand and left Zhao Fang's house. Zhao Fang was listening to those words behind them when they left. Zhao Fang was amazed. She seemed to have heard the meaning behind Yezhiruo's words. She seemed to want to take Li Pan'er back to Ye's house to be her younger sister. Is Li Pan'er's life going to change from now on? Zhao Fang made a plan in her mind and ran out of the house. Zhou Yuqing just ran away because she felt embarrassed, and now Zhao Fang still wants to find her. Zhou Yuqing returned home crying. When Zhou's mother saw her running over, she shouted several times without stopping. Zhou's mother pushed the door and walked into her daughter's room and found her crying. She immediately became anxious. "Yu Qing, what's wrong with you? Who made you cry?" Zhou Yuqing didn't cry too much, but she was a little aggrieved. At this moment, I wiped my tears and shook my head. It seemed like nothing was wrong. She made an excuse and said, "It's okay, I just got sand in my eyes." Zhou's mother thought about the people who came to see her just now. "Didn't Li Pan'er come to see you just now? Did you see her?" "Mom, how do you know this?" "They came to the house just now. You and Pan'er had a good time. Do you know what's going on in her family? Why do two outsiders say that Pan'er is the daughter of a rich family?" End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1464. Chapter 1464. This bed is so hard. Mo Xiongnuan went to 2 houses to get the necklace back, but word soon spread throughout the village. She actually doesn't miss this place where she has lived for more than 10 years, because her memories of the past 10 years are almost all immersed in pain. But here are his deceased grandma, his friendly neighbor Du Heng, and Dr. Ying who helped him. Once she leaves here, she probably won't come back often. So Mo Xiongnuan hoped to wait 2 more days and go to school on Monday to say goodbye to her classmates. She would also take advantage of this time to say goodbye to the people in the village who had helped her before. The most important thing is that Dr. Ying and his family have been very helpful to them. When Mo Xiongnuan went to Dr. Ying's house to express his gratitude, Yezikan and Ye Wei both went there in person. Dr. Ying was stunned for a while when he saw this fuss, and only after explanation did he understand the complicated relationship. God is really wise. After going round and round, he unexpectedly met Mo Xiongnuan's biological parents. At this point, he felt lucky for Mo Xiongnuan. Although I don't know the specific reason for this matter, since you all said that she is your Ye family's biological daughter, I hope you can treat her well in the future. This is for sure. This child has never had a good life since he was a child. You should also know the virtues of the couple named Lee, but Panner is really a very well-behaved and filial child. I just hope that she will not have to suffer any more in the future. It's been a long time. Doctor, we understand what you mean, and we are grateful to you. Ye Wei patiently listened to Dr. Ying's words, took out a business card from his bag and handed it to Dr. Ying. This is my business card. I wrote another number on it. You contact a person named Gu Chensi, I think he can help you. How can this be so embarrassing? Dr. Ying, you don't have to refuse. I can see how good you are to Nuan Nuan. Maybe you can't fully realize how important Nuan Nuan is to our husband and wife. You just need to remember that you have done a good thing. This is what you deserve. Yezikin recommended Dr. Ying to Gu Chensi. In the eyes of others, this may only be a matter of 1 or 2 sentences, but for businessmen, a promise represents a favor. But for the couple, as long as Nuan Nuan comes back to them, no matter what the price is, it will be worth it. Joe's mother was a big talker, and the next day everyone in the village knew that Li Panner had found her rich biological parents. Many people who wanted to watch the excitement gathered at Li's house, but Li Panner was not at Li's house at all. That night, the whole family stayed at Dr. Ying's house. Dr. Ying's house is not big, with a total of 3 bedrooms, and he only had one night last night. When they got up in the morning, Yezhiruo and Yezikin felt pain all over their bodies. Brother, the bedboard is so hard, it hurts my back. This is what Yezhiruo whispered to Yeching Feng quietly. Of course she would not say it in front of others, but Mo Xiongnuan happened to listen to it. Mo Xiongnuan just thought that the room in Yejia was spacious and bright, with soft blankets on the floor, not to mention a soft big bed. They had to stay here to wait for themselves, and they were wronged. Mo Xiongnuan felt very embarrassed. She took the initiative to go to Ye Wei and said, Auntie Ye, yes, or we can leave today. If she waited until tomorrow, Monday, the Ye family would have to accompany her to suffer here. She was not that selfish. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1465. Chapter 1465 Sleeping in the Woods. What's wrong? Nuan can't wait to go home, Ye Wei asked with a smile. Mo Xiongnuan shook his head, no. Why is that? Just. Mo Xiongnuan hesitated, because she thought that if she said that Yezhiruo was not used to it, it would sound like she was looking for trouble. Even though she knew that the Ye family was very kind to her, the feeling of alienation could not be completely resolved in a day or two. It was obvious that Mo Xiongnuan's attitude was tangled. Ye Wei held her hands tightly, looked into her eyes and said seriously, just tell mommy what Nuan wants to say. You don't need to hide any thoughts in front of me, as long as you want to do it, mommy will try her best to do it for you, you know. Nuan, you just need to remember that you are different now from before. No one will look down on you anymore, and no one will dare to bully you. You can do whatever you want, even be proud of yourself. As long as you are happy, mommy can do anything for you. From the moment we met until now, Ye Wei has expressed this intention to her more than once. But she had stayed in the abyss of darkness for so long that she didn't know what kind of light she should expect. From now on, will she be able to live in a spacious and bright room, play the black and white piano keys, learn elegant dancing, and become as outstanding a girl as Yezhiruo? Warm. Nuan. Ah! Ye Wei shouted several times before Mo Xiongnuan came back to his senses. Ye Wei asked doubtfully, what are you thinking about? Mo Xiongnuan still shook his head, no. Looking at her cautious little movements, I just thought it was very cute. Ye Wei touched her head and said, then do you still want to wait until tomorrow to go to school to say goodbye to your friends? Let me think about it. Okay, I'll tell mommy anytime I think about it. Thanks. You're welcome. Ye Wei has a very relaxed attitude. As long as her daughter comes back to her, other feelings can be slowly cultivated. She is very confident in this. Mo Xiongnuan went to find Yezhiruo himself. Sister, were you uncomfortable sleeping last night? No, Yezhiruo denied without hesitation. Hearing Yezhiruo's answer made her feel even more guilty. Sister, let's leave today. What's the matter? Didn't you agree to wait until tomorrow to say goodbye to the classmates in the class? Well, it's okay, I can come back later. Oh, you're not worried that we won't adapt here, are you? Mo Xiongnuan remained silent, because she was not good at lying except when she had wronged herself. Yezhiruo saw through her thoughts and laughed heartily. What are you thinking? This bed is already very good. Your sister and I were still sleeping in the woods when we were thrown into the wild. Ha! Mo Xiongnuan was shocked when he heard this. Yezhiruo smiled and slowly told what happened to him in front of Mo Xiongnuan. Even though her usual interests besides studying are dancing and playing the piano, she and Ye Qingfeng have actually been doing various physical training since they were young. They are flowers in the greenhouse, and they are also strong grass that can withstand wind and rain. From about the age of 2, babies are thrown to places with harsh environments to survive every year. At the beginning, it was the woods in the suburbs, then it was the forests in the mountains, and this year it was at the seaside. It's really good when you're living a good life, but it's really miserable when you're training. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1466. Chapter 1466. Mo Xiongnuan has indeed inherited heart disease. Although various safety measures are taken before undertaking these activities, during their own training, they receive no help unless it is life-threatening. She and Ye Qingfeng had been exposed to rain, starved, and injured, and they didn't even have a place to sleep while surviving in the wild. She felt that the bed was too hard and uncomfortable when she slept here last night, but it was just a natural feeling on her body. These were all minor problems. I guess next year my dad will throw me and my brother on an uninhabited island. Very scary. Haha, did I scare you? It's okay. My brother and I have systematically learned many survival rules, and the annual field training is just to make ourselves stronger. But you don't have to worry, you just need to feel at ease, just be your little princess. Mo Xiongnuan was the treasure she had retrieved without hesitation. Who could bear to let her suffer? In addition, Mo Xiongnuan was in poor health, and her body could not bear the intensity of training they did. Speaking of the body, Yezhiruo suddenly thought of something. Oh my god! Yezhiruo had a surprising guess in his mind. She comforted Mo Xiongnuan with a few words and ran to find Yezikin. She suddenly thought that her family would arrange physical examinations for her and her brother Ye Qingfeng every year, and unlike Ou Tong's physical examinations, they had to check their hearts very carefully. At that time, they curiously inquired about the cause and learned that the Mo family had hereditary heart disease. Although Yezikin recovered from his illness and relied on Mahist treatment, in order to better ensure their health, he still insisted on careful examination. After so many years, she and Ye Qingfeng had no heart problems, but just now she remembered that Mo Xiongnuan had a heart problem. She had a bold but true guess: the disease was passed on to Mo Xiongnuan after all. After Yezhiruo informed Yezikin of the matter, Yezikin immediately started to arrange the return trip. Not caring about waiting for Monday to arrive, Yezikin made a mandatory request to take Mo Xiongnuan back. The first place to go when returning to City S is not to go home, but to go to the hospital for a checkup. Mo Xiongnuan's physical examination had previous case records, and now the re-examination results show that her condition is stable, but it cannot be completely cured. Ye Weiwei urged Yezikin to contact the Mo family. Yezikin has truly experienced that kind of pain, and he doesn't want his daughter to suffer that kind of pain. The descendants of the Mahist family had no recurrence of the disease after treatment, and the treatment method remained the same as 10 years ago. But now a daughter who has been dead for many years has been found, and she still has a hereditary heart disease. This makes the Mo family both happy and distressed. They treated Mo Xiongnuan according to the treatment plan back then, but this time they found that the treatment method no longer worked on Mo Xiongnuan. After confirming that her daughter was truly back, Ye Weiwei's mentality improved a lot. She was able to maintain rational thinking time and comforted Mo Xiongnuan to take his time with the treatment. Mo Xiongnuan was brought back to Ye's house, and Ye was only excited to take her to the room that belonged to her. Finally allowed to step into that mysterious place, Mo Xiongnuan still had an unreal feeling when he opened the door. She stretched out her hand and pushed it away slowly. The sunlight coming in from the window shines on the floor, and the eyes and shadows form very beautiful patterns. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1467. Chapter 1467 Gentle and Sweet Nangong Yu. Opening this room is like walking into a pink treasure house. The layout here is in line with the girl's sweetest style, dreamy and sweet. There are piles of large and small boxes here, but they don't look like a pile of clutter, because each box is a carefully wrapped gift, full of surprises. Would you like to take it apart and take a look? Ye Weiwei took out a pink box. Mo Xiongnuan nodded. The box was opened, and there was a beautiful crystal ball inside. Ye Weiwei held it in both hands and handed it to Mo Xiongnuan. Mo Xiongnuan liked it very much when he saw it. It's so beautiful. Yes, Ye Weiwei looked around, and finally shifted his target to the dressing table, pointing to the position next to the mirror. This color is good here. If Nuan likes it, you can put it directly on the table. You can see it when you're dressing up. In this spacious, bright, and warm environment, the mother and daughter began to make things happen. Gifts were opened one after another, and every thought was clearly placed in front of Mo Xiongnuan. I felt a little moist at the corner of my eyes, and when I touched my cheek with my fingers, I realized that I was crying again. It feels like crying. Ye Weiwei was heartbroken when she saw her daughter shedding tears. Nuan, don't cry. Mommy is showing you the gift to make you happy. I'm happy, I just feel lucky. I always thought that I could never touch the light while living in the abyss of darkness, but now I realize that I am deeply loved by so many people, and that warmth is within reach. Nuan, believe Mommy, you will live a happy life in the future. The two looked at each other, and Mo Xiongnuan nodded heavily. On the first day after Mo Xiongnuan returned home, Nangong Luo and others had received the news immediately. They were shocked and happy at the same time. They took the whole family directly to Yezikin's villa without saying hello. Nangong Luo and Gongqinli were still as lively together as before, and they heard the sound before they even stepped through the door. They are regular visitors here, and they don't even bother with such superficial things. When they first entered the door, they only saw the housekeeper. Before the housekeeper could sneak away, he was caught by Nangong Luo and asked, "What about this? Didn't it say that Xiao Nuan is back? Quickly bring my goddaughter out to see." Gongqinli quickly pulled Nangong back to her side and successfully rescued the housekeeper. "Please be calm and don't embarrass me here. I am thinking about you. Do you know what I am thinking about?" Nangong Yu, who walked in slowly from behind with ladle-like steps, heard the quarrel between his parents and calmly rubbed his ears skillfully. There is basically no quiet time in their home. Daddy, Mommy, you will make Sister Nuanuan, who has just returned home, embarrassed to show up. A voice as soft and sweet as marshmallows was suddenly inserted between the two noises, and the couple fell silent for an instant. Sure enough, one thing brings down another. Just when they were quiet, Ye Qingfeng had already walked around to the door to greet them. Hello, Godfather and Godmother Xiao Yuer, good afternoon. Hey, Xiao Qingfeng, where is your sister? Nangang Luo and Gongqin Li paid attention to Mo Xiangnuan the whole time. Only Nangang Yu replied seriously and politely, good afternoon, brother Qingfeng. My sister Yuer is still good. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1468. Chapter 1468 Hope to become a pair of childhood sweethearts. Good afternoon, brother Qingfeng. I haven't seen you for a few days, and sister Yuer has become beautiful again. Nangang Yu opened his mouth to praise others, and Nangang Yu covered his lips and smiled. His elegant movements were truly a model for all ladies. Even though she is only 13 years old. However, Nangang Luo couldn't accept these words. He directly pulled his daughter behind him and hid her, and faced Ye Qingfeng. Xiao Qingfeng, you can't flirt like this. If you flirt, you have to be responsible. Nangang Luo has watched her grow up, and he knows how reliable Ye Qingfeng is, so Nangang Luo maintains two attitudes in his heart. First, he thinks that his daughter is his own, and other brats should not even think about her. The second is that he knows that his daughter will one day find her favorite partner when she grows up. It would be good if she could develop a relationship with Ye Qingfeng. To sum up, Nangang Luo is still very satisfied with Ye Qingfeng. However, these two childhood sweethearts have not seen any other feelings until now, which is a bit intriguing. Ahem, Xiao Qingfeng, where is your sister? Nuan is with mommy. The two of them should be in the piano room now. Piano room, do you play the piano? Nuan is very interested in music because she inherited it from her mother. I guess the two of them are conducting in-depth research. Forget it, let's wait outside for a while. Okay, Godfather and Godmother, you can do whatever you want, I'll have someone get you juice. Nangang Luo's family of three are familiar with each other when they come here. They don't need any special reception at all. As long as they have electricity, internet, and mobile phones, they won't feel bored wherever they go. The housekeeper prepared juice for the two adults and gave Xiao Yuer a glass of milk. Ye Qingfeng suddenly mentioned something. By the way, Yuer, last time the school said it was going to hold an etiquette competition, are you willing to participate? Yeah, I know this. I've already signed up for the class. Egg College is different from ordinary schools. It teaches knowledge to junior high school students in book-based teaching, but in addition to these, they also offer other courses, including interest classes and etiquette and culture. In the upper class, children's etiquette is also key and needs to be started from an early age. The so-called etiquette competition is to hold activities so that everyone can learn the best things. Even though Xiao Yuer is young, she is still considered a leader in the etiquette class at school, but she is not mature enough for her age. Ye Qingfeng is the right-hand assistant of the student union teacher, and he will definitely participate in the etiquette competition. Thinking that he happened to meet Nangang Yu today, he explained the event clearly, then come here and I will tell you in detail. Okay. Nangang Yu took small steps and left behind Ye Qingfeng. After they left, Nangang Luo and Gongqin Li looked up at each other at the same time. Nangang Luo clicked his tongue. Although Xiao Yuer and Xiao Qingfeng are childhood sweethearts, why do I feel that there is no spark of love? Go, anyone who is 13 or 14 years old must have the spark of love. Having learned from Yezikan and Ye Wei's mistakes, Nangang Luo was anxious. What do you mean, the only one who kissed brother Chen when they met? I think she had known Nangang Luo for a long time, but when she was 24, she was not with Nangang Luo yet. Gong Qinli kicked him rudely, "Don't mention it. The first 10 years were not enough for you to see your own heart clearly." End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1469. Chapter 1469, I once liked another man. I understood my feelings a long time ago, right? I have wanted to confess to you for a long time, but you kept rejecting me, and you kept whispering in my ears how much you liked other men. It's okay if you don't mention it, but it's just old accounts once you mention it. Gong Qinli's heart rang with alarm bells, and she laughed and said, "It's all in the past, so don't mention it. Let emotional matters take their own course, ha ha ha, just calm down." Gong Qinli could find all kinds of excuses and reasons to blame Nangong Luo for other things, but she regretted the fact that she liked Gu Jinsi. Actually, she didn't really like her in love at first, it was just an obsession that was formed when no one knew her own feelings, but now it has become dark history. Gong Qinli refused to mention that dark history because it was too embarrassing. Afraid that Nangong Luo would continue to mention it, she quickly took out her phone and shouted a few words in her friend group, asking them all to come and see Mo Xiang Nguyen. Yuan Ran's cell phone was in Bai Jiyu's hand. Bai Jiyu was playing games seriously when she suddenly saw a pop-up voice message and clicked on it. When she played it, it happened to be in loudspeaker mode. Gong Qinli's the sound was so clear that it could be heard throughout the room. Bai Jiyu didn't quite understand what she meant by Nuan, but she understood and wanted to go to Yejia. Bai Jiyu immediately put the ongoing game behind her, ran out with her cell phone in hand, calling her mommy as she ran. Hearing Bai Jiyu's urgent voice, Yuan Ran thought something had happened to her baby, so she hurriedly found it, and Bai Jiyu just happened to throw herself into her arms. Before Yuan Ran could say anything, Bai Jiyu couldn't wait to hold her in her arms and said, "Mommy, let's go to Brother Feng's house to play." Bai Jiyu raised her phone. Yuan Ran took it over and was shocked. After sending a message to Bai Ye, who was working overtime at the company, Yuan Ran took her daughter directly to Ye's house. Han Xingyi, who is far abroad, is curious. But his official performance is tomorrow, and he can't make it back today. He can only rely on sending messages in the group to ask for warm photos and live videos. Ye Qingfeng was seriously discussing with Nangong Yu about the etiquette competition. Ye Qingfeng needs to hand over a reasonable plan, and Nangong Yu can give him a lot of good suggestions in this regard. The two of them were taking care of business seriously during the vacation. The plot of YY in the hearts of the people downstairs has no idea at all. In fact, among the children in their family, Nangong Yu is the one with a delicate heart. She always has a clear understanding of what she wants to do. She likes Ye Qingfeng as if he is her brother. Ye Qingfeng is also a little gentleman who loves his sister very much, so whether it is Yezhiruo, Nangong Yu, or the little lowly Bai Jiyu, they all like Ye Qingfeng because he is very gentle to the people they care about. I guess you can become the leader of the etiquette class when you are in the second grade of junior high school. That's not possible, if my sister is much better than me. You don't have to be humble in front of me. Let this plan be as it is for the time being. If you have any new ideas, let me know at any time. Okay. Ye Qingfeng has just finalized a draft of the planning document, click save. Hearing some movement outside the window, Nangong Yu opened the curtains and took a look. Sure enough, a familiar car was approaching. It seems like someone is here again. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1470. Chapter 1470. Is he nervous about Bai Jiyu? Except for Nangong Luo, who often changes cars, others have no special requirements for cars. They often use the same car when going out, so it is easy to identify. Ye Qingfeng knew it was the Yu family's car just by looking at it. The car stopped, the door opened, and sure enough, a little head popped out of it. Bai Jiyu jumped out of the car, and Ye Qingfeng was so scared that her heart trembled. What happened? Who taught you to jump out of the car on her own? He gave a dissatisfied shout and immediately turned around and went downstairs. Nangang Yu still stood at the window and took a few more glances, and found that Bai Jiyu had disappeared. She stood there and murmured to herself, Brother Qingfeng's reaction was too quick. Bai Jiyu's action of jumping out of the car was quite dangerous, but they had clearly seen Bai Jiyu land safely, and Ye Qingfeng ran out anyway. Nangang Yu shook his head, turned around and walked out of the room. At this moment, Ye Qingfeng had already run to the gate. As soon as Bai Jiyu saw him, she rushed towards him happily, moved her head directly into his arms and rubbed her, shouting happily, Brother Feng. Ye Qingfeng's words that he wanted to educate her just now were stuck in his throat. With Bai Jiyu's sweet shout, how could he be willing to even say a word of reproach? Did you jump out of the car just now? Yes, isn't you great, you can get out of the car by herself. Because Bai Jiyu was hard won, she was really a princess who was held in the palm of her hand and pampered. The brothers and sisters of the Ye family have been learning self-defense and survival in the wild since they were young, but Bi and Yuan Ran really don't want their daughter to suffer, and just want her to grow up happily under the wings of peace. Taking the incident just now as an example, someone else was holding her before letting her get off the car, so this was the first time Ye Qingfeng saw her jumping off by herself, and he was really afraid that she would bump into her. Even Yuan Ran was frightened by her. When she caught up with her daughter, she heard that Ye Qingfeng was already teaching her the correct way to get off the car, so she suppressed her words a little. You can't do that in the future. You don't know how worried mommy is about you. Yuan Ran knew that her daughter almost obeyed Ye Qingfeng's words, so she deliberately asked Ye Qingfeng to give some more instructions. Ye Qingfeng nodded after receiving the instruction, held Bai Jiyu's hand, and said as he walked, the action just now was very dangerous. You can't just jump off the car by herself in the future, you know. When Ye Qingfeng led Bai Jiyu into the house, she was talking about it all the way, just like an old woman. Nangang Luo and Gongqin Li even wanted to plug their ears with cotton. With so many guests arriving, the housekeeper had to go to the piano room to remind Ye Weiwei. Ye Weiwei is teaching Mo Xiangnuen how to play the piano. The scene of the mother and daughter getting along warmly is so harmonious that it makes people feel a little envious after seeing it. The housekeeper also hesitated before knocking on the piano room door. Madam, the Nangang family and the Yu family are here. Huh. Ye Wei raised his hand and made an okay gesture, and told Mo Xiangnuen about the relationship between the Nangang family and the Yu family. Mo Xiangnuen finally understood, but when she walked in with Ye Weiwei and heard the lively sounds in the living room, she felt a little discouraged. She had never met those people, and she could not imagine how to get along with them. She can't even help but guess, what if those people don't like her? In the past, the Li family didn't like her. End of this chapter.